Coming to you live here from Poland. That's right, we're here in Poland, a town in Androscoggin County, Maine, United States, with a population of 5,906 at the 2020 census. We might have messed up some flight details, but regardless, we are still here and we are still ready to cast Club NV X Cranky Ducklings. Well, technically it's NVX Ducklings to shorten it. Showdown number 4, our Korean special that we're coming down here today. I am, of course, your host, Yaku of the Zaku, and with me today is Ten Ipokuju Kitori Ma Hashtag Tusun, Chase of the Chases. Welcome, Chase. And also handling production, we have Bohater Puskoi Jinajujwim Winikiem E Rock Band, Kuro of the Kuros. Welcome, Kuro, as well.
Hello.
Welcome, Chase.
Where's my Poland invite? I'm stuck here.
Somewhere. Forgot
I'm
to pick
still
you
at
up
the
at the
airport.
airport. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, unbelievable. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm here with Yaku, Zaku, and Kupo on the production. But yes, we're getting right into it today with our first series of the day.
Indeed. A little bit of a Swiss format that we've got here. Kicking it off with a best of 3 TvZ here. Very spicy one as we load into El Guione over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming out from Atlanta, Korea, representing Mystery Gaming. He is the player formerly known as Ragnarok. We have SHIN.
And spawning in the bottom left position, he is your Korean Terran player in the blue, playing for Team Liquid. It is Cure.
Here we go. I'm hoping I timed that right with the fanfare.
Oh, true. And also, we've got a very special guest on observing today. Who is it, Yaku?
A ghost.
This is light. He's casting from the plane puppy.
It is right from the. Yeah, we tried to set something up here. I thought I would be observing, but all of a sudden my mouse started moving on its own, and I figured out that was light from astral projecting from the plane. As yeah, that would probably be for the best here. Don't want to give too many people motion sickness just yet.
This is beautiful. This is wonderful. I think who needs light? I reckon forget about him. This is the coup. Kuro, you're part of it now too. Me and Yaku are we're gonna take over, but we don't want to do any work. Enough about us.
Yes.
we have a 2 Marine opener from Cure.
Indeed, we do. Completely skipping out on the Reapers this time. Not being too conservative when it comes to the gas, but regardless, he did skip out on the Reapers, and like you said, 2 Marines into a reactor coming down.
Yeah, and a bit of a weirdness over here from Shin. He did lose 1 drone to the Reaper. Let's get the creep humor down, but he takes the gas at his natural. Only has 2 in it at the moment, so this is a bit of a curious kind of opener here by Shin, delaying the gas. Normally you see with this meta that Terran players seem to be going a little bit more aggro of Reapers. You know, it could be 3 or it could be 5. Looks like it's just going to be the one Reaper opening this game, but a bit of a delayed gas. Not what you normally see in this matchup at the moment.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I think a lot of Terran players have been experimenting a lot with going Reapers, trying out combining them with Cyclones a little bit. Not finding too much success, at least in my experience, and going back to just mass Reapers and a couple of Hellions as well. But Cure is switching things up quite a bit. We actually have very economic openers coming out from both of our players. Cure, of course, going for that 3rd CC before Starport. Shin going for a very quick 3-hatch.
We do 3-hatch Zergs. They be Zergan taking the 3 bases. Cure's taken his own 3rd 360 opener. Looks like he's going to be going Viking as well. Generally, what this kind of means would be a bio play with Vikings to kind of clear out Overlords, make some room for drops, give it a little bit less map vision to the Zerg and the Hellions on the ground as the Reaper gets pushed away in the main. But we'll have to see. It looks like he hasn't landed the racks on the Tech Lab yet because he's going for probably Cloak Banshees. Oh, I'm
Right
so
on the
smart.
money. There we go.
I am so smart.
The reads. They're coming down. I appreciate this from Cure. This is something that I can work with. I am somewhat familiar with. It is what I do every single game in TvZ.
And here we see the consequence of a delayed Ling speed. It's these Hellions coming in right before it finishes up. Drone's going to be forced to help surround. Decent surround, actually going to get some decent kills here, but loses 7, could be more. Drone, right when those Hellions go down Ling speed, it finishes up. So
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Kuro? I mean, or Yaku, I'm sorry. I mean, Kuro,
It's
I
fine.
care about your opinion too, but...
Look, it's fine. It's fine. We're basically twins. I've been mistaken for
True.
Kuro before. But, where was my third thought going yet? Yeah, definitely could have been worse here for SHIN. It's, like you said, everything that could have gone wrong pretty much went wrong for him there with the very delayed metabolic boost. Drones are starting to line up really, really well, but I guess that's the weakness of only having 4 Hellions with you instead of the more standard 6, or the weakness of kind of splitting up your Hellions like Cure did over there. Couldn't quite get as many volleys off.
Yeah, well, that's right. As we said, a couple more Hellions back at home too. We do a what's it called? Stim pack research coming down. Banshee does get deflected in the main base. Actually, was there no Spore Crawler in the main there for SHIN? I'm surprised the Banshee kind of backed out. It was cloaked, but there was no Spore, it looks like.
Yeah, apparently there wasn't, and of course no Lair either, so no mobile detection, no Overseers coming down, but I guess Cure just saw the 3 Queens moving down and decided not to risk it.
Oh, this Queen risked it, and she lost the biscuit. As we now have 2 Banshees coming in. A bit more scary for the Zerg play to deal with. There's not going to be a lot of cloak on them, however, because they're pretty low on their cloak, but they can now 1-shot drones with them now together. We do have what it looks like the layer about to finish up, and SHIN for the most part looks pretty secure here, saving his Overlords too. And meanwhile, we have 3rd base landed and saturated for Cure.
Yeah, everything is pretty much right on the money for our blue Terran player. Stim has finished up, Combat Shields is on the way, and this is very much shaping up to be what we've come to expect from Terran players and what we've come to expect from Cure, especially in TvZ, just that good old 1-1 timing. Very potent.
1-1 timing, the meta. And just a little kind of footnote to think about, the fact that the Ling speed was delayed also means that the rest of his gas production is delayed a bit too, so it's not going to be a big deal, especially with this fantastic creep spread as the Viking gets sniped on the right hand side, but it is a little bit concerning because this Bane speed is going to be a little bit late potentially in time for this push, but it looks like for the moment yes, he's going to Widow Mines now. Only got the 1 tank out in the field, so interesting to see how Cure approaches the mid game from this standpoint.
Yeah, definitely a little bit riskier, especially if SHIN ever decides to go on the attack. He will be at a little bit of a disadvantage there. He won't quite have that range, but all in all, it's a much more effective way of dealing with specifically Ling Bane. I don't believe Cure has been able to scout the Hydra Den just yet, so that is perhaps why he's opting for this more anti-Ling Bane army composition.
Yeah, and actually, the Hydras is a really good idea versus Widow Mines. I like this kind of choice. I don't know if it's a meta choice from SHIN. Keep in mind, we do have, I believe, you guys, go easy on me. Is IM coming up soon?
It is, in fact, coming up in about 2 weeks. 1 week, actually.
So there could be a little bit of like strat saving or just a bit of kind of straightforward play going on between the 2 players here, as this 5th base is actually threatened here, but no SHIN will force the lift up. Yeah, we'll have to see whose mechanics, are going to be raring to go. Both Banshees still alive for Cure, which is quite good too, but yeah, we'll just have to see how this game unfolds. Infestation fit, SHIN's going for the late game, it seems.
Yeah, it's a very interesting shift in the meta that we've seen quite recently, where Obviously Zerg players in general, they do like to get into the hive as quickly as possible, but nowadays we're seeing a lot of, with the fungal buff, we're seeing a lot of interesting builds that are hinged a bit more on going for burrowed infestors as early as possible.
We will too, as we see quite a few units on the right-hand side here. Q's got a very good split around the map. Keep in mind that there is a bit of mobility sacrifice going Hydra play like this and rushing the hive, so expect to see Shin be quite defensive. We've got Banshees on the left, this little skirmish going on the middle, we've got units on the right as well, so Q's going to be looking to isolate these Zerg units and try and take good trades and kind of push his advantage as he goes into a 4th base and then a 5th base. So I'd expect to see him maybe kind of start gearing up and trying to get some damage done here, but so far Shin's defending it really well.
Yeah, it's like you said, Shin has to play defensive for the time being, but he hasn't taken any economic damage. So far, some creep has been cleared up, a couple of Lings and a couple of Banelings have been taken out. Cure has been trading quite efficiently, but Shin is now up to 90 workers, 90 drones, and that is absolutely what you want for your endgame Zerg economy. It's barely 10 minutes in, and Shin's already made it to that point.
Yeah, not only that, but we have the Lurker Den coming down as well. We've got 2-2 just finished up for a Zerg player. This little force is going to get pushed back on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, we have these units just big chillin', burrow being researched. And yeah, I have to kind of see with 90 drones, and the gold base taken as well, this is a pretty decent position here for Shin. So I expect to see maybe a Ghost. Oh, we do have the Ghost Academy already down and Cloak researching. Oof, we don't mind hitting the right, but yeah, Gyaku, I don't know. This is going to be a macro game.
Yeah, not quite what I was
Believe it or
expecting
not.
coming out here from Cure and Shin specifically. We do have Cure, who loves his timing attacks. We also have Shin, who is known to be one of the more unhinged Zerg players, especially in Korea. But we are getting our longer macro game. We're gearing up for it. Oh boy.
Yeah,
Strap ourselves in.
And this is the kind of fights that Cure likes to take off creep. He's able to be a lot more effective. Medevac does get taken down. These two Banshees just kind of chilling in the middle. I'm not sure what he's going to do with those, but now we have the gold base secured. And we've got all these upgrades, all these Hive late game upgrades going down. And I feel like all things considered, I think Shin's been defending really well, but I feel like Cure needs to he's not getting the best kind of trades here. He's taking out units, but the economy of Shin is just going unmatched.
Yeah. Cure's been trimming a lot of the fat of Shin, but hasn't quite been able to really strike at the heart of him. Meanwhile, he just loses Planetary Fortress, 13 SCVs as well. So we've finally reached the point of the game where Shin has had enough. Adrenal Glands is about to finish up. I believe 3-3, not on the way quite yet for him, but yeah, now we're starting to see the tables turn a little bit. Shin actually has some opportunities now to start going for run-bys.
Yeah, we certainly do. And just looking at the layout of the map, like the bases, hold that thought, as we have Shin coming in. He's going to get on top of this Planetary on the bottom with Adrenal, and they're going to push back. But we do have just the way this map's kind of set up. The bases are very kind of close-ish together. They're not towards the middle. You see a lot of the seesawy back and forth kind of play going on. As we said, Nidus going to go down the main base. And I just think Shin's really good at defending from two different angles. So this is a scary Nidus, so...
Yeah, the reinforcements are making their way back into the main. They're stimming on forward. They should be able to take out this Nidus Worm, and yeah, should be able to deal with the lurkers that come from it as well. Loses a couple of Marines, which is not ideal, and more importantly, also splits up a lot of Cure's forces. That CC that was just rebuilt towards the north got taken out. This Planetary Fortress towards the south taken out, and the entire mineral line is forfeit.
Yeah, that was really done by Shin. You have to respect these Niduses as another one goes down in the main base. And then he just ducked in on the left side, took out a base, ducked in the bottom, took out another base too. And Shin's just using this Nidus as a distraction. And good response here by Cure this time. So we don't mind do quite a bit of damage, but he's just kind of... Yeah, he's playing really well. And while this pressure's going on, his economy is being untouched. Those 93 drones are mining unhindered. But hold that thought.
And Gold Base in a little bit of trouble as Cure starts losing a couple of his SCVs, starts losing a couple of bases as well. We have a little bit of a base trade, and I do think that Cure has a bit more of a potent army here. Lurkers are not in position to defend right now for Shin.
Yeah,
Yes,
no,
sir.
this is a really small force here from Shin actually as he comes in,
Ooh.
tries to clean up. The ghosts are still safe. Units reinforcing from the left-hand side too, but this position is so hard. And I think that oh,
Oh
GG.
man. Yeah,
Oh my
GG
days.
is called. Couple of good Baneling hits right towards the end there, but nowhere near enough to really clean out the maxed out Terran army of Cure. That was a game that feels like Cure shouldn't have won until he realized at the very last minute, wait a minute, I have a strong army.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really like the game plan from Shin that game. Looking at the graphs, you can see he did a lot of economic damage, and his 90 drones were pretty much untouched. But he didn't have anything reliable to fall back upon. He only had the Lingbane Hydra. It was already struggling a bit because even though he was doing a lot of damage, it was economical damage. He was trading out army for economic units from the Terran side and bases and SCVs, and he just couldn't hold this counter push by Cure, who just managed to hit a good timing. And I feel like every Zerg's been in that position, Yaku, where you're playing well and you just get rolled over.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
But you're a Terran player.
I am, in fact.
Hold on.
So perfectly balanced here.
Unbelievable. But here we go as we get ready for game number. That was a. What did you make of that game? It was very. There was a bit of action going on, but it feels like we kind of skipped the mid game, didn't we?
We did kind of skip the mid game, didn't we? I feel like right from the very start, with Cure's 3CC before Starport and Shin's triple hatch, we were going to gear up for an economic game, and I feel like Shin played that economic game perfectly, defended against just about anything Cure threw his way. But yeah, I guess when he went for that beautiful triple prong with the Nidus Worm, he might have traded a bit too inefficiently, throw away, one too many lurkers there. And yeah, like you said, just didn't have anything remaining to deal with the counter push. Cure, it wasn't able to deal much economic damage, but he just traded so dang efficiently that I guess that's all it takes to win as a Terran player.
True. Oh my god! Finally, an honest Terran player. Asher, stay away. I found the truth. But anyway, here we go.
Yeah.
Game number 2, starting with an extractor trick. Spawning in the bottom left in the red trunks. Playing for Mystery Gaming. Played really well first game. Can he get over the top in game number 2? It is Shin.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of Solaris, we of course have our blue Terran player coming down from the land of Korea as well, representing Team Liquid. We have the mayor of Six City. He is Cure. Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned Asher because, unfortunately, RIP in peace, Asher. He is down with COVID at the moment. That was the plan. We were supposed to cast together, so for the entire weekend, I was just like, okay, I need to find a way to counteract the Smoge.
I thought you were gonna say
I feel like I
RIP.
haven't quite gotten. I haven't quite gotten all of it out of my system yet.
The smudging. That's okay. But I thought you were gonna say RIP Ashes. He died.
Well, he's dead at the moment. Until further notice, he is dead.
He's non-existing. He's recharging.
He's in that box.
Gotta get the Terran copium. Exactly.
Yeah, so now I all of a sudden have to figure out how to switch from counteracting the copium to inhaling the copium.
So I'm gonna corrupt you. Don't worry, Yaku. You're in good hands with me. But yeah, here we go. So
I'm scared.
Standard. Everything's standard so far. We do have a Marine follow-up coming too. This Overlord, we're going to see it the natural timing and then just go chill on the pillar. Again, we see... Oh no, this time we do have a gas being taken. A little kind of nuance we've seen in the meta over the past kind of year or so is Zergs have kind of, because their openings are so defensive, they've been delaying their gas as much as they can to get away with it. And we will sometimes see, as we see the Reaper coming down, forcing the Extractor, the natural... Oh, gets a drone as well. We'll sometimes see Terrans will go gas first and do like a 4 Hellion dive just to really take advantage of that. But no, we see it was a Rax first. We've got a third CC coming down again too. And this SCV, does delay the natural very, very slightly.
Both SCVs doing a pretty good job of body blocking. Can we get this one SCV? We do.
Oh my god. That was sick.
What a flex.
Yeah, we see. Oh, is Q gonna dive on the tumor here? Ooh.
Gonna try. Nice bouncing with the KD8 charge. He should be able to. There we go. Get the tumor. Nicely done.
And the Queen just throws another one down.
Absolute
Yeah.
disrespect.
We see a couple of overlords on the other side of the map here. From SHIN, he will be going for the scout. Generally, with the Zerg, you want to be sending that overlord in around 340, 345. That lets you, when you get on top of the Stargate, see if it is a non-reacted unit or a non-tech lab unit. You see if it's a Viking or medevac popping. In this case, it was 3cc, so we might delay it just a little bit more. Reaper gets a good scout off, and the main base is gonna get out with its life as well. But yeah, very, very standard so far. Very, very low, low test. Both players just macroing away.
Yeah.
Low testosterone.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's facts, you know.
I want to see
Can't hold it against
SCVs
you.
pulled and Bane's exploding.
Ooh. That sounds traumatizing to my Terran
SCVs
eyes.
Pulled into Banelings particularly, but we do see good scout does see the tech lab researching. Also doesn't see the Banshee pop, but should know what's going on here.
Yeah, it's pretty rare nowadays to research interference matrix in a TvZ, so, you know, SHIN should be able to put two and two together. I was wondering if the Cyclone was a mistake here from Cure, but no, apparently not. It's, yeah, just a really good way of dealing with overlords when you skip out on your initial Viking.
Yeah, that's right. Especially since we got more barracks coming down instead of mech. You normally see a cyclone. Oh, does shoot his cyclone there? I don't know why he did that, but yeah,
you gotta test it.
Exactly. Battle harden it, give it an upgrade. But yeah, another reason to kind of delay your overlord sending in there is it's not really worth it for Terran to kind of cancel their cloak at that stage if they're trying to fake you out. But yeah, we do see this is a little bit mech orientated looking here by Cure just with these units.
Yeah, at least for the moment, this is a really nice clearing army, and if there's ever an opportunity, he can dive into a mineral line as well and start roasting those workers. This is a very odd lair placement from SHIN, I gotta say.
This is beautiful. Oh, actually, these Banshees going to cancel the fourth base once it's going on too.
Yeah, two Banshees should have enough DPS to, there we go, force the cancel, and now we're starting to go straight into the main base. This time SHIN does have an spore crawler, so we'll be providing a little bit of protection. Even with good control, that's still a spore crawler and two queens. Cure doesn't want to mess with that. In fact, he doesn't want to mess with anything at all, as he sends his Hellions all the way back home.
He does indeed. And seeing those two Evo chambers in the main, well, it doesn't have a lair, but it's the main base of SHIN. Kind of lets Cure know that he's going to go into a macro game here. Doesn't need to worry about any kind of rush kind of timings or pushes. It comes in again. It might lose a Banshee. Oh my god! It's pushed back.
Close.
But again, we also see gas not yet taken in the main base. So 5 gases, it looks like Hydras. Yeah, again, the game plan here by SHIN, but I feel like his fourth base is a little bit more delayed, and this push at Cure could be coming in, the 7-minute 30 push with these medevacs could be a little bit tricky to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the good thing for SHIN this time is that at least he is able to finish up Baneling's speed before the main push happens, and he is able to, he will be able to muster up a little bit of a defense force, but like you said, it's probably not as sophisticated of an army as it could be.
It's basic. It's an E-move army, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's an army that
pretty much.
But yeah, again, this base, no way, even with enough units here, SHIN can't really hold it. These Marines overextending just a little bit, but don't want to see a commitment here by SHIN. There's just not enough creep spread compared to the bottom base, which has finished up. But yeah, successful push, I'd say. A little Bane run by into the third base from Cure, though. Oh,
yeah.
6 workers getting taken down, but good response time there.
Yeah, not bad damage at all.
Oh, there's the depots too. Does that work?
Yeah. Well, Cure is supply blocked for the time being, so I would say
That's
so.
worth.
100% worth, as another medevac meets up with this army. Yeah, Cure will be able to transition to more of a drop-heavy style from this point forward. I say that, but he's keeping his tank in position.
Yeah, some good posturing here. Another base is going to get denied by these Banshees. They haven't got the most economic damage, but they've been really annoying by sniping these bases at the top and the bottom. A Ling run by, oh, going to get pushed back. Good kind of control there by SHIN to pull that back. But it looks like this base may actually get saved. Yes,
potentially. Yeah.
Whew. But we have Cure going to be pushing at the bottom now, and this is where SHIN's going to be forced to actually engage. He can't lose his space. His Ling's going to scout this push, but yeah, this is actually where it starts getting a little bit more scary for the Zerg player.
Yeah, these Lings are doing whatever they can to really distract the Terran army. SHIN does posture a couple of units towards his southern base, but he's going for a massive Ling run by while this is going on.
Oh my god, look at that tank position. That's sick. That's so sick.
Beautiful. Makes a Terran heart leap.
It is. We got the push coming in the fourth base, and SHIN, even though his run base is doing well, he can't afford to lose this. Actually, maybe he can because he's secured the base in the top left. But blow for blow here, I gotta say, who's coming in on top of this, Yaku, would you say? You're the expert Terran player. If this happened to you, would you be happy as a Terran?
Definitely not. I like my tanks, I can tell you that much. But taking out one base is a little bit of a consolation.
That it is indeed, and taking out some of this creep as well. SHIN, I feel like he's a little bit on the back foot this game. Going to be taking up the hive, but Cure looks like he's going to try and push a little bit here as well. Not too sure, unless he's just curling up some creep with as much advantage to continue to push his position. But there is quite a few. Yeah, they're pushing back now. There's quite a few forces with the Zerg player.
Yeah, to say the least. Pushing up this ramp with creep as well, that's always going to be tricky. Cure being very diligent to try to scan and try to figure out where SHIN's army is at, and since he couldn't quite confirm it, decided not to risk it. He took out a base, he's going to pull back and gear up for round, what would it be, 3 at this point?
Round 2+1.
Works for me, 2.5.
Oh, Ling run by again.
And unfortunately, the tank not quite in position to really turn this around, but the reinforcements are nearby. Only 4 SCVs go down, which at this point, if you Cure, what is he on, 3 orbital commands? You got mules for days.
You do indeed, and here we go. And this is a bit of a scary position here for SHIN. This is a decent spot to push. You see how choked up it is. Another Ling run by kind of going to get caught off, and we have a drop coming down in the bottom position as well. This is where it gets very, very scary. I don't want to keep saying it's scary for SHIN, but he can't. He can protect this base, but he'll trade in cost ineffectively, and he can't afford to trade cost ineffectively because his eco is behind.
Yeah, funnily enough. Probably the last position you really want to be in a ZVT.
Yeah, and even bases.
Exactly. And definitely a position you don't want to be when you're up against a player like Cure, who's just a macro god.
I mean, you could be worse. You could be behind on bases, which it looks like he might soon be.
Yeah.
But just without Vipers, like, how do you force Terran out of this? And look at this tank spread as well. Like if you look at how many Banelings, there's 32 Banelings. There's so many. Here we come. The engagement coming in right now, and I feel like he's going to be able to clean this up potentially, but he's just not going to have enough of an army behind this.
Yeah, well, he's starting to reset
really?
the tank count. Some really good Baneling connections on top of these Marines. Meanwhile, though, Cure, he finds his opening. He pushes in with his drop. There's some key tech here that could be sniped. He, regardless, forces SHIN to pull all the way back. So Cure, he's on double factory production. He's on 8 Raxes. So, yeah, remaxing from this position is not unfeasible as a Terran player.
No, it's not at all. It went reasonably well for SHIN from what I was expecting. He did reset a lot of the tank count. As you pointed out, there's double factory, there's 4 base, a 5th base being taken now, which is going to be done before SHIN's is done. We do have lurkers now out in the field.
Yeah, you were talking about that worst case scenario. as a Zerg player economically.
Oh,
Well,
we
that's
have
just been
Vipers.
realized. Yeah, Viper's gonna help out a ton. This drop finally gets cleaned up, and Cure, without any ghosts, at least for the time being, will be forced to play a little bit passively. And there isn't really much opportunity for him to really dive in while these Vipers are looking to, blind and clout these tanks, yoink literally everything else. As we don't have Liberators yet, but if that were, that's what he want to yoink.
It's a very kind of vertical setup we've got on a Zerg player's side. You see, the creep spread is not really crazy. It has been contained quite a bit. And he's got these 4 bases, but soon we need to start venturing out and expanding a bit more. Nidus coming down as well. What do you think about a potential Nidus in the main? Could that do something? Is this base at the top could be in trouble?
Luckily, the Lurkers are able to chase this away. Yeah, I think it would work out really well. I mean, just looking at game number 1, that Nidus worm into the main base was a great distraction that SHIN was able to produce. It pulled Cure's entire army back home and allowed him to really come in with a little bit of a triple-prong attack. This time, it might be a little bit trickier, just because Cure is already set up with all of his planetary fortresses and whatnot, and he's actually Nidusing into the natural base instead.
God, he is indeed, and he's engaging at the front at the same time. This is a really good move here for SHIN. I don't know if Cure's going to be able to spot this. Ghosts will come in to help out, the Lings reinforcing will push them back, and now the Lurkers are in the natural. And actually, SHIN's making some moves in Yaku.
He is, isn't he? Cure forced a hot pickup and evacuate all of his ghosts. Thankfully, he does keep them alive. Orbital Command lifts up and is forced to evacuate. Orbital in the sky also means fewer scans, but thankfully Cure has enough energy to chase this away. Only 3 SCVs go down, and the Orbital is still alive throughout this entire ordeal.
Yeah, and a lot of Lurkers actually getting taken out there too. And forcing the lift at this base is not the worst for Cure because he's got these bottom bases mining too. But pretty decent kind of trade there for SHIN and gives him a little bit of breathing room to get some creep down as well on his side of the map.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best thing he can really do with that attack. Like you said, losing all of those Lurkers is definitely gonna hurt him as this game goes on, but he buys himself time. He should be able to secure his 5th and his 6th base now. Unfortunately, Cure is also going for a 6th base, so...
That he is indeed. As we now see, Overseer to the north. Looks like it's going to be loading up for another drop in the main, but there are, a Nidus in the main, but there are units in position.
Well, it's a drop from below. Really.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. There should be an upgrade, in the campaign where you can like teleport to wherever there's creep.
Oh.
Overlord's like dropping creep in the main. But he's going to take out this Overseer. Meanwhile, it looks like SHIN's going to be posturing towards the bottom. Really good to get some of this creep spreading out towards the middle now, giving a bit more breathing room. We could be seeing a bit of a split map scenario here, but we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it definitely looks like what we're gearing up for. This is such an unfortunate timing for this Nidus Swim, going up just before Cure is able to scan. A bunch of Lurkers come out of it though, so yeah, they will be able to chase us away. SHIN will be grabbing that base for now.
He will indeed. As we see an attack coming on top of the space here. Gliding Cloud going down on the planetary. A lot of units being forced back, and a lot of Cure's army is spread out all across the map. You got tanks spread across the middle. You got a bunch of ghosts in the top left. But even though SHIN's kind of forced Cure into going ghosts, he's really stopped Lurker production. He hasn't made all that many at all since then.
Yeah, I guess he just hasn't really been able to. I mean, based on his economic position, SHIN just had to remake his drones, he had to remake his Lings. He is starving for minerals right now. Has a surprisingly decent gas bank, but just doesn't really have the minerals to produce Hydras and then Lurkers on top of them.
Yeah, I kind of like it, to be honest, Yalki, because as a Terran, if you scout Lurkers, you think Zerg's going to commit, you make a bunch of ghosts. And what are ghosts not fantastic against? Ling Bane, really? Ling Bane Hydra. It's one of the banes of Terran players, who's preparing for all these tech units and they're just getting rolled by tier 1. But yeah, we'll have to we'll just have to see what will he do with all his ghosts. Is he going to go for some really, some Turtle Liberator kind of play? Is he going to kind of slow the game down? Because once you take a couple more bases, it's kind of, you're not going to be able to take more bases from then. So maybe we'll see the game slow down a bit.
Yeah, we pretty much only have 2 fresh mining bases remaining on the map that haven't been claimed just yet. SHIN posturing around and should be able to prevent Cure from taking this base. A lot of Cure supply is tied up in medevacs at the moment. Liberator is getting yoinked, and Cure is starting to get pushed back.
Yeah, I mean, so that's not a planetary either. That was an orbital, so he can save it, but not the strongest position. Drop going to be landing in the main base here. Despite scouting the medevac, SHIN does not have many units in position. It looks like, oh, he's not, has he seen it yet? Oh, he's seen it now. Has he? Oh, there we go. But does get the +3.
Yeah, which is actually pretty huge here coming into the late game. This means, it's going to take more Banelings to really connect with this bio army to start killing things. It's going to take these Hydras that many more attacks to start dealing with the bio.
Yeah, it certainly will. Certainly will. So you see Cure trying to be a little bit on the offensive. This drop in the main actually is getting a lot done. Marauders are really scary with STIM.
They really are. Yeah, they can deal a lot of damage to buildings. Not the best against Lings, but oh lord, are they tanky. Especially without +3.
But yeah, the thing is, like, Cure, he might be forced to kind of slow down a little bit. Oh, I'm not too sure how I feel about this push, but if he kind of slows down and turtles up, he gives SHIN free access to get his economy going.
Yeah, it's a tough call to make right now as the Terran player. I like the setup of this push. I really like the Widow Mines being set up there, but yeah, I guess it probably, well, I was going to say probably wasn't worth it, but Q kept all of his ghosts alive. Now Liberators are starting to move into position. Liberators with range are very difficult to deal with, even when you have Vipers.
Yeah, and there's just nothing to kind of protect these Liberators as they get yoinked. There's ghosts, but they're getting forced back by the Ling main. These mules are going to get taken out. They are at the end of their lifespan, however. But it looks like Cure might just stabilize, and SHIN is going to get pushed back. And this is the way it's scary when Terran has ghosts and you don't have much of a backbone to your army. And this could be really scary, guys.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a pretty familiar story to game number 1 here, where Cure has just been trading so efficiently throughout the entirety of this game. He's forced SHIN to push into him, make one really big mistake in the offense, cleans up the army, and goes straight for the counterattack. GG is called. Cure going to be taking that series 2-0.
I want a GG button. Oh, man.
It's pretty great to have. Yeah, GG. Nicely done here. Very close series that we've had, and a really good back and forth. I really thought we were going to get some ultra late games coming out from both of our players, and we got a little bit of late game, but I guess you can only hold on so much when you don't have much of an economy going your way.
You can, yeah. And it was looking pretty good, with that push, and there was a bunch of ghosts, but there wasn't much else to kind of support them splash wise, but it just wasn't enough. Not Kuro, Yaku. Oh my, I haven't seen you guys in like a billion years. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Light. Forgive me. But but yeah, that was
I'll take it as a compliment,
Yeah, Kuro's very hardworking, just like you, Yaku.
I'm not sure entirely about that, but yes.